Tommy Lloyd, hoping it's the Arizona Wildcats 3 Sweet 16s in your first 3 seasons. How have, in this day and age of college sports, and how you have to turn over rosters almost overnight, how have you been able to maintain the consistency?
Well, first off, I appreciate you leaving out the fourth year where we lost to Princeton in the first round. It's actually 3 and 4 years. You get to take the good parts of your story. You also got to take the tough parts of your story. It's who you are. It's been great. I'm at a great place. I mean, I'm at a place that I'm proud to represent. I love being a basketball coach at Arizona, and I always tell people, Arizona basketball doesn't represent me. I represent it. It's way bigger than me, or way bigger than I'll ever be. And so I'm proud to call the program home, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we got this year and delivering for our fans.
I think you've got a lot, but one thing you do have is it's not often in college basketball where you have a point guard that's going to be with you for 3 years. And in my personal opinion, I've said this to you and others, he may be one of the most underrated players in the country, Jaden Bradley. What's it mean for you and he to have that symbiotic relationship?
Well, listen, JB's somebody I really appreciate and really value. And you're right, he is underrated. And how do you handle that as a head coach?
Yeah.
Do I get out and make all these crazy proclamations and say he's the best point guard in the country and all these things? For sure I could. And it would be sound to say that. But JB's also someone who's not fighting for the spotlight. He wants to do his job. He wants to serve the team. He wants to represent his family, and he does an amazing job at all those. So for me, going into the offseason while we were figuring things out with our roster, I had great peace of mind knowing we had a starting point guard coming back, that is as good as he is, that is as good a person he is, and just being a winner. So I really value JB, and he played great in our exhibition game on Saturday. You could see his experience kind of shine through. So I think he's primed to have a great year.
Scheduling always important on behalf of all college basketball fans, including 2 guys that get to call games all the time. Thank you. But you start your season against the Gators. You've got 5 teams that were in the NCAA tournament that are in your non-conference schedule. Why is scheduling up so important to help you prepare for this conference?
Well, I don't know if it's scheduling up. I think that's how Arizona should schedule. We view ourselves as one of the premier programs in the country, and I think it's great for the game when programs of our caliber are matching up with other programs, maybe a little bit higher than us, but at the same caliber. I think it's important to do. I think, why would you ever be scared of failure? And you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. It's part of the process. That's what makes college basketball so great. So, and I know this, at Arizona, we're not protecting anything.
Yeah.
We're trying to go out and get everything we can. And so that's the mindset we're going to go in with. And I'm sure there's going to be some ups and downs with it. And, you might see me mid-November, and I might have a different opinion. But as of today, I'm really excited about our schedule, and I look forward to the opportunity.
Well, and you get a chance to learn about your freshmen very early on in a schedule like this. I got to watch Koa Peat a handful of times at Perry High School. Just a gold medalist as well, tons of experience. What does he bring to this team along with Braden Berries?
Well, but they're both mature beyond their years, and not only basketball-wise, but just physically. And they're winners, and they've really come in, and they've been, as advertised, whatever that means. So I really feel good. When everyone else was aggressively shopping the transfer portal, I'm like, I don't think I could get 2 transfers better than these guys. So why even get distracted? So I'm really feel good about those 2 and what they mean for our program. They've been great in practice. I'm sure there's going to be some ups and downs, and there's going to be a learning curve. But the one thing I do know, they're competitors and they're quick learners. And so I think over the course of the year, they're really going to step up and show themselves as, premier college basketball players.
Speaking of Koa, let's dive in deeper. You got a chance to coach him on the under-19 gold medal world championship team. Congratulations. What did you learn about him that you maybe didn't know when you were recruiting him for 3 years?
Well, we did know him, really well.
Yeah.
I think the one thing I would say about Koa is just how authentic he is and how genuine. There's no act. He's literally just a great person, crazy high character, but he plays this ferocious style of basketball. So it's a really cool combination, and that's who he is. His care factor is so high, and it's been really fun. It's been really fun, coaching him. The USA experience was great. He and I went into that, and I told Koa, hey, Koa, listen, I'm probably not going to talk to you as much as maybe you would expect here, because like out of respect for these other players who are really good and the mission we were on.
Right.
I know we were on the mission to win the gold. I mean, it was kind of a business first approach. But now having him at Arizona on a day-to-day basis, and just being able to, really, help build a team around him has been a lot of fun, because he's deserving of everything that comes his way, and I think he's going to be one of the most fun college basketball players to watch this season.
He's going to be part of that front court. You've always had great front courts as an assistant at Gonzaga, to what you've been able to build at Arizona. Talk about the front court this year. What excites you most about that group?
They're really good. I mean, that's the biggest thing for me is, you got, Tobe Awaka, who's, an experienced player. Obviously, we were fortunate to get him from Tennessee, and he had a really good season for us last year, and has just continued to grow as a player. And another guy that's a crazy high character guy, great student. I mean, any superlative we could put on him. And then Mo Krivas. Mo is somebody, who I was really excited to recruit back in the day, and I thought this kid had a ton of potential. And I know in this day and age, you don't say this lightly with how the game has changed, but it's really hard for a 7-foot-plus guy to be a legitimate NBA player. I think he has a chance. I think there's work to be done, and he's got to go out and prove it on the court on a night-to-night basis. But he just has tremendous potential. He's really come on. I mean, he had to play 32 minutes against St. Mary's, which probably wasn't the best coaching. You know what I mean? It's kind of hadn't played a game forever, but it's what the situation called for. And I think he had 17 rebounds, and that's some area we've really been pushing him on. So, I think the combination of those three guys is, it's a luxury, and it's something that we hope to take advantage of.
There's two guys that impress me, and maybe they're not ready yet, but I think they will be, is Karchenkov, young man from Germany, and Dwayne Aristode, who was hurt last year, but it seems to me that at some point those guys could be important for you.
Well, they're going to be important from day one. I mean, they're both going to be in our rotation. We're going to probably be one of the few teams that are playing 4 true freshmen and really counting on them. But I feel good about doing it. Like in practices, I haven't felt like, we're too young, we're too inexperienced. I don't feel that because you guys don't play like that. Yvonne and Dwayne are they're both really good players, and they're both really, really talented. They both got good feel for the game. I think they just need a little bit of experience. Dwayne, obviously, you said he sat out last year with a foot injury, so he kind of missed his senior year of high school. Yvonne, probably didn't even know this time last year that he would be playing college basketball. Right. So he comes over from Bayern Munich. There's obviously, and Fran, you and I have both been doing this international thing for a long time. There is a transition period for all these players, no matter how good they are, coming from. And I tell a European player, hey, how do young Americans do when they first come to Europe? They usually struggle. Well, there's an adjustment. And the same thing for European kids. So let's give these kids a little time. But I think at the end of the day, they're really, really going to help us.
Less than 30 seconds left. Bryce James, the youngest of LeBron, and we saw Bronny and his journey there at USC. What is your plan for Bryce here?
Bryce and I have had a lot of conversations figuring out this year. Redshirting is a possibility, and the reason I say that is because I believe in Bryce. And if you didn't believe in somebody, why would you spend extra resources on them or extra time? And Bryce has been great at our place. He's really his body's starting to change. I think the one thing people don't realize about Bryce is he's a year younger than his class. So he should be a senior in high school right now. So just kind of helping him with that transition's been fun. But I'll say this. He's a first-class kid, and growing into a young man, and it's been fun having him on a day-to-day basis, fun watching him kind of come out of his shell and turn into his own man. And my job is to, respect him as a person and help him with his own journey. And that's our plan at Arizona. We got no extras. Let's just help this kid to develop into a great young man, and I think that's what his family wants and what he wants, and we're going to help him with that.
Should be a fun journey to watch for him and the rest of the Cats this year. Tommy, thanks for doing it.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it. Always good to have a point guard that you can hand to in the morning, get it back safe and sound at night. That's Jaden Bradley, who's with some teammates as well.
Yeah, guys, I can't tell if we're in Kansas City or Oklahoma City. We got some Thunder vibes going on right now, joined by members of the Arizona Wildcats. Now, your coach has called you underrated. The Big 12 just released their preseason Big 12 team, and you weren't on it. I want to hear from you guys. What do voters miss about the value he brings on a night-to-night basis?
He's just a steady force, day in, day out. He's the same. He brings a kind of grit and toughness and sort of peace to the team. He's sort of the common force.
Koa, what about you? What have you seen from your leader?
My little time playing with JB, just the way he controls the game, he controls the pace, and just a great leader for us.
So when voters saw what you did last year, 12 points, 4 assists, leading the Arizona Wildcats to a really great year. And they saw that production and said that wasn't good enough. What was your reaction to that?
I try not to, worry about that too much. At the end of the day, my goal as, the leader, one of the leaders of the program is to, find as many wins as we could get. And, it's going to be a tough task, but, I feel like we got the team and we got everything to handle that.
Yeah, you were certainly eligible for the list, and so is your freshman in Koa. I want to take us to Arizona Wildcat practice. You're on the floor with him on the drill, 5-on-5. What was the moment you realized he's as good as advertised?
Me and Koa always, joke around, like, we go at it, say, he can't guard me, I can't guard him. So, we was in a post one time, and I kind of set Tobe up. He spit off me. He tried to duck on Tobe. So I was like, dang, he really strong and athletic. So, I really felt that and, saw that in that moment. So, yeah.
Wilbur, what about you? Is Koa going to be the Big 12 Freshman of the Year? I think that is a yes.